B. Legend Kalyana Sundram. I'm a basically civil engineer. Did my ME in Center for Water Resources, Anna University, and also PhD in groundwater engineering in Anna University. So I was working in Anna University from 2011 onwards, so 2001 onwards, and from 2009 I joined as a assistant professor for civil engineering or sometimes fluid mechanics and machinery in mechanical engineering. Okay. So every year I will be taking this subject. I have come for once to Beltec in 2014 for a presentation in civil engineering. This is the topic in I think second year fluid mechanics or solid mechanics of solids. I say mechanics of fluids. Mechanics of fluids, but for we have fluid mechanics also. Okay, so the topic is different, but the syllabus is almost same. Okay, so we call as the fluid mechanics, you are calling as mechanics of fluids. So that's it. So I'll be taking the third unit. There are here we have the second years as well as third years. Of course, third years we have studied this. Second years maybe it's new. I'll be just covering the syllabus. Most of the notes will be available in the presentation. Okay, so you can take the notes whenever you want. And I'll be explaining the terms. If you are not convinced, you can ask me anytime. Okay, you can ask the questions at any time. Don't wait for the presentation to be finished. Okay, so only if questions are there, you apply. Okay, you have any examples or things that are known, you can ask immediately. So we will start the presentation next. Okay, so can you examine one unit system? CTS, SI, FES, MPS. Okay, so our SI system is basically it's derived from MPS. Okay, so that's what we are following SI unit system mostly. So we have a different unit systems. Is followed by different places. Okay. So if you take Europe, they follow one system. India, they follow one system. Europe, US, UK. So previously there were different unit systems were followed for different countries, but international community decided to have a common unit system that is called as SI unit system. Okay. So that's why we have a SI unit system. This dimensions. It's not a different one. Okay. Normally the dimension means it defines a physical quantity. Okay. Any dimension, if we say it's a physical quantity measurement. If we say what is the length, okay. So what is our mass or particular substance? Okay. Whether you say it in kg, whether you say in pounds, whether you say it in Newton. Okay. So everything is in dimension wise, everything is same. But unit wise it will be a different notation. So the dimension is the basic physical quantity. Okay, physical measurements you can say. Any physical quantity you can measure we can put it in terms of dimension. It is not this constant for all the places. But when you come to units, okay, units is a magnitude of a particular physical quantity. Okay, if you say length, what is the in terms of meters or centimeters or feet, yards. So when we take a mass, so whether it is Newton, kg or something, this is about the definite magnitude. Okay, that's all. It's a very well defined magnitude of the particular physical quantity. So these are two differences about dimension and the units. So here we are not worried about the unit system. So in this particular chapter we are going to consider only the dimensions. Okay. So we are talking about in terms of mass, length, time, temperature or something. So there are 7 basic primary dimensions. Okay. These are 7 dimensions called primary dimensions. So this is a basic. Whatever the dimensions of the physical quantity you want to measure it, we have to write in terms of 7 parameters. Okay, if you write velocity, okay, it is meter per second. Okay, so we have meters, we have a length, and for second it is T, L by T. So whatever the measurements you say, acceleration, force, okay, discharge, anything, density, viscosity, something, you can write anything these 7 parameters, not only for civil engineering, for mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, whatever. You can write in terms of these 7 parameters. So mostly for your syllabus, we'll touch only first 3, okay, MLT. Okay. So other things, temperature, we use notation T if there is no time component in the phenomena. If this T time is there, then you use theta. Okay, so only to differentiate the terms. Sometimes some books follow theta for temperature, some books follow temperature T for temperature. If time is not there, and current, an amount of light it is in candela, and amount of matter. So lumens, candela are the measurements of intensity of light, how bright it is. So next. So these are the physical quantity. You can say mass, length, time, area, volume, velocity, acceleration, force, power. So the dimension, you can see that the first 3 are primary dimensions. From 4th onwards, 4 to 9, it is all derived parameters. Okay, it is called a derived parameters. Next. So similarly, there are number of parameter physical quantities available, and the dimensions also given in the books. Okay. So we have to, as a second year, we have to read the various physical quantity and the dimensions. Unless you know the quantities and the dimensions, it is very difficult to solve some of the problems in this particular chapter. Okay, it is a bulk model or compressibility. Okay. So you should know what is the unit for that or what is the dimension for it. Okay, if you don't know what is the dimension, what is the unit system, then it is very difficult to solve the problem. Okay. So I have been only 9 parameters, physical quantities. There are 40 to 50 physical quantities available in the books. Okay. So just go through the dimensions and the physical quantity. It will be helpful you to solve the problems in the coming slides. So next is dimension analysis is a mathematical technique used mostly in research purposes to establish a relationship between the variables in a phenomenon. So what they are clearly saying is, take any one phenomenon. You take a fan. Okay. So you are giving some input. Okay, that's a electrical energy, and you are getting some output. You are getting some wind energy. Okay. So there is an input and output. How to relate these two parameters, and also it's not only the depends on the wind power depends on the input power. Also it depends on the how much, what is the RPM in which the particular fan rotates, what is the size of the wings, and what is the angle of attack of the wings. Okay, how the blade is inclined. So these are the other parameters. Okay. So the input is electrical energy, but also if you see in terms of blade size, the angle of the blade, length of the blade, okay. So how much RPM it rotates. These are the other parameters. So we can this is one phenomena where we have so much of parameters. Okay. So you can find what is the relation between the wind energy with respect to the size of the blade or angle of the blade, what is the rotation of the blade. So the dimension analysis, you will get only the relations between the parameters. If I change the length of the blade, order. Okay, if I change the width of the blade, order. Okay, if I change the RPM of the fan, order. So if like that, you can take any phenomenon. You take pump, centrifugal pump or turbines. Okay, you can take a parameter. You can analyze it. So if you give me what is the relation between the parameters, that is what dimension analysis. Nothing else we are doing in dimension analysis. We are just finding the relation between the parameters. Okay, first we have to list the parameters, then find the relation. How to find the relation, that we will be doing in one of the problems. Okay. So next we have a dimension homogeneity of equation. What is this homogeneity? Homogeneity means it is equal, it is similar, it is same. Okay, that's what homogeneous. So dimensionally homogeneous means if you take any equation, the left hand side dimension and the right hand side dimensions are equal. If you write a dimension for left side parameter and similarly the right side parameter, both the dimensions are equal means that is called the dimensionally homogeneous equation. If it is not, then it is called non-homogeneous equation. So we will be getting some problem like they will give one equation and they will be checking whether the equation is dimensionally homogeneous or not. just write the parameters. So if you take v equal to root 2 gh, so for velocity it is meter per second. Okay, so L by T, and root 2 gh, for 2 there is no dimension, it is a numerical, so you can remove, you can leave that, and we take gravity, it is meter per second square into h. Okay, so meter square per second square, if you take a root, we get meter per second. So now this equation is dimensionally homogeneous. Take one equation, Q equal to AB. Take Q equal to AB. Tell me whether this is dimensionally homogeneous or not. Discharge equal to area and velocity. Radius. Is dimensionally homogeneous or not? Yes. Homogeneous only. How? So discharge we have a meter per second, so we have a L cube per T. Okay, so area is L square and velocity is meter per second, L by T. So we have L cube by. So similarly you can have number of equations and you have just prove that left and right sides are equal. So what do you gain from this dimension analysis? Why you want to study this? Okay, so what is the information we get? Okay. So because I said already, if any phenomena, you will be analyzing the relation between two parameters. Okay, if you want to do an experiment, okay, you want to conduct an experiment, and before conducting experiment, you can check what are the input parameters or output parameters, and put it in dimension analysis. Then you find what is the relation between the parameters. That will help you in conducting the experimental works. Okay, so this is one way. So any consistent test units will work in this particular dimension analysis, and don't have to conduct an experiment on every single size, type of pipe, and every velocity. Okay, so you can optimize the experiment using dimension analysis. Then you can check only the particular case. Okay, that will help you, and results will work on different fluids. So if you conduct for one fluid, you can use it for another fluid without doing the experiment also, because you can have a conversion of the density or viscosity that we can do, and we can use it for any fluids. Okay. And this is all results are universally applicable, because we are not disobeying any laws, we are just obeying all the laws. Okay, so it's all scientifically approved only, so methods only we are using. That is one advantage. So there are two methods in Rayleigh's method, Buckingham dimension analysis. One is Rayleigh's method and the Buckingham-Pike theorem. These two are important methods in terms of finding a relation between the parameters. So what is the advantage or disadvantage of each method? If you take a Rayleigh's method, it is a simple method, but the problem is if the variables are more than 3, okay, so then it is difficult to solve. Okay, I'll tell you why it is difficult to solve. But in Buckingham-Pike theorem, any number of variables, it is a similar work, same work. Okay, only repetitive works only. So any number of variables can be solved in Buckingham-Pike theorem, but in Rayleigh's method, only 3 variables. If more than 3 variables are there, then it is very difficult to solve. Okay, that is what happens in Rayleigh's method. But in Buckingham-Pike theorem, you can have any number of parameters. Okay, so basically, these are two differences. But it's not that you cannot solve if more than 2 or 3 parameters in Rayleigh's method. You can solve in Rayleigh's method also. Whether 4, 5, 6, 7 parameters, you can be able to solve it. But it will be very difficult to solve if the number of unknowns, number of parameters are more in Rayleigh's method. But in Buckingham-Pike theorem, any number of parameters is very easy. So Rayleigh's method. So how to write the variables? Okay, here the variables are x, x1, x2, x3. Okay, x, x1, x2, x3 are variables. Okay, how to write it in terms of function? So we have to write the x equal to function of x1, x2, x3. So what the x is, what you mean by x here is, x is a dependent variable. Okay, x is a dependent variable. The other parameters x1, x2, x3 are independent variables. When you take a fan phenomena, okay, the wings are independent. Okay, the size of the wings, RPM, everything is independent. But the output is dependent. The output depends on the wing size, angle of attack, or the RPM, everything. Okay. Similarly, the x is the dependent variable. X depends on so much of parameters. Okay, x1, x2, x3. So x1, x2, x3 are independent variables. So on this you have to write the dependent variable left side, other parameters on the right hand side. Okay. So next I have to form the equation. So that is x equal to k into k is a constant here because we are equating we are removing the function and equating it. That's why you are putting k. Otherwise there is no other issue. But how to find the k value is different. Okay, you cannot put any value for k. So the k value has to be found by only the during experiment. By doing experiment only you can find the k value. Okay, otherwise it is not possible to find the k value using dimension analysis. Okay, so it will give you how x and x1 are related, x and x2 are related, x and x3 are related. Okay, that is the only relation will be available using dimension analysis. But k value you have to find only using experimental studies. Okay. So next we will do one problem. Okay, so it's a simple pendulum problem. Okay, so here the time period t of a pendulum depends. That means the t is the independent variable. Okay, t depends on length and the gravity. Okay, so there are three parameters here. Okay, so one is the dependent variable. There are two independent variables. Okay, so write the dependent variable left side. That is t equal to k is a constant, and the other two independent variables, that is L power a, G power b. If you have another one, you have a c. You have another one d. You have another one e. You have like that it goes. Okay. So any parameters, you can write the parameters and put a, b, c, d, e, f, g, h. So next we have to see what are the dimensions for each parameter. Okay. So t is the time. So the dimension is t. So next is length. It is L. Okay. Gravity it is meter per second square. This is L into t power minus 2. Okay. So this is the dimensions of the particular equation. So how to solve this a, b value? Okay. So what we are going to do is take the powers of m, L and t. Okay. So on both the sides. Okay. So here left side we have only t. So that means m power is 0, L power also 0, t power is 1. Okay. So the next time only you have a L power a, and you have another L power b and the t power minus 2. Okay. So now write the powers of m. So there is no powers of m because there is no mass involved in this particular problem. So we remove that mass. So we take the powers of L. Okay. So powers of L means you have a 0 on the left side. The right hand side you have a and plus b. Okay, powers of L. Okay, so you have L power a and you have a L t power minus 2 whole power b. Okay, so if you multiply it, you will get the L power b. So if you write the powers of L, we have 0 on the left side, right side you have a plus b. That is one equation. Another equation, powers of t. So that is e power 1 is there, so left side is 1. So equal to, the first term there is no t, so the second term you have minus 2p. Okay, so 1 equal to minus 2p. Okay, from this we can find what is the p is, and substitute this b value in the first equation, you get what is a. Okay, so first now you know what is a and what is b. Substitute this in the second equation. Okay, so that is t equal to so first equation, t equal to k into L power a and g power p. Okay. So then we can write the equation, that is t equal to k into root of L by g. Okay. So as per the experiments, the k value is 2 pi. Okay. From this equation we can find what is the relation between t and L and the t and the g. Okay. So the time will increase if the length increases. Okay, the oscillation of the pendulum. If the time increases, that is length increases, the time will increase. Simply the gravity decreases, time increases, or gravity increases, the length decreases. Okay. So this is how the relation you get using this dimension analysis. Okay. So there are other two problems you can solve. You don't have time. So maybe you can take as a homework this. Okay. Or you can find so many problems in any fluid mechanics books. Next slide. So next is the Buckingham Pi theorem. This is slightly different. While you go for solving the problems, it's slightly different. But we'll start as of Rayleigh's method only. So first we have to write this similarly for how you wrote in Rayleigh's method. You have to write in the similar way in Pythagorean also. So the left side you have to take the dependent variable. X1 is the dependent variable here. Rest of the parameters are independent variables. Okay, so that's how you have to write the first function. Okay. So next, we have to find how many variables are there. Next, how many variables are there, including the dependent variable. Including the dependent variable, how many variables are there? So first we see, so x1 to xn. I told you can take any number of variables. Now let us assume that you have a n variables. Okay. So x1, x2, x3 up to xn. So you have a n variables. Okay. And how many equations you need? Okay. In order to find the relation, how many equations are needed? Previously we have a 3 equations. We have a m powers 1 equation, l powers 1 equation, t powers equal 1 equation. If you have a 3 unknowns, 3 equations, it is easy to solve. If you have 4 unknowns, 3 equations, difficult to solve. Okay. So here, n is the number of variables. M is the primary dimensions involved in all the parameters. So assume that we have a 3 or 4 parameters. So write dimension for each parameter. Write dimension for each parameter, and you will see that how many primary dimensions are involved. Let's say you have 4 dimensions. We have velocity, we have density, and we have a length, and we have a angular velocity. Okay. So what are the primary dimensions involved in this? We have density, then velocity, acceleration, one more, diameter. Some diameter will take t. So what are the primary dimensions involved? Length is there in all 4. Length is there, time is there, mass is there. Okay, is there any other primary dimensions involved? No. So first you have to decide, so what are the variables and what are the primary dimensions involved in all the parameters. Okay, so out of these 4 parameters, we have only 3 fundamental dimensions involved. One is m, l and t. Okay, so that means m equal to 3. If the parameter has a temperature, okay, if we have temperature T, then it is a 4 fundamental dimension. That means m equal to 4. Okay, so m is 3. It is mlt. If the temperature is there, then it is 4. If we have one more parameters, it is 5. Okay, the m is nothing but of the fundamental dimensions involved in all the parameters. Okay, you have to take all the parameters, write the dimensions. You have to see how many. Whether m is there in all, l is there all, and t or something else is there then. So we have to see what are the basic dimensions, then you write the m is equal to 3 or depends on the primary dimension. So n minus m terms you need. That means n minus m 5 times or number of equations you need. Why we are minusing this? Because we have a 3 fundamental dimensions means we have already 3 equations. Okay, we need a remaining parameters to be solved. Okay, so you have a, b, c, d, e, f. You have 5. So you have 3 parameters. So you can have 3 equations. Only if you write 2 equations, that is more than enough. Okay, so that's how this particular Buckingham diagram works. Okay, next. So how to write this equations? Assume that you have 5 parameters. Where n minus m means have a 5 minus 3. You have a 2 equations needed. Here if you have a n equations or n minus m equations are needed. Okay, here I put for general cases. Assume that you have 2 equations. And how to write this equation? You cannot write simply equation. There are some methods or guidelines to follow for writing this equation. Okay, how to write this? So first you take the first one. So we have a pi 1. Pi 1 is the pi term, Buckingham pi term. That is one equation. Pi doesn't have a dimension or the units. Okay, so it's a non-dimensional quantity, a numerical quantity. So the for that m is 0, l power 0 and t power 0. So and equal to x2, x3, x4 and x1. Okay. So these are first 3 are called the repeating variables. You can see that with the first 3 terms will be repeating in the pi 1, pi 2. How many pi terms you write? First 3 terms will be repeating, keep on repeating. So these first 3 terms are called repeating variables. So there are guidelines to select the repeating variables. I will tell you in the some next slide. Okay. And and you have to write the remaining parameters as the fourth parameter. You have to write the remaining parameters out of these three. You have to write in the fourth parameter. So you can see that the fourth parameter there is no C or D. Okay, only have A, B, C, and fourth is there is no powers. For fourth parameter there is no powers. So once you found the A, B, C values, okay, A1, B1, C1 or A2, B2, C2 values, then you have to substitute in the subsequent equations and find your pi1 equal to x1 by what is x power 2 or x power 3 or minus 2 something. So you find the relation. Then you have to write in the format like this, given like this. That is pi1 equal to function of the other pi's. Simply pi2 is the function of other pi's. What is this pi? Why you are writing pi1 left side or pi2 left side? So why we are writing is, if you assume, if you taken x1, because x1 is a independent variable. Different variable. So x1 is a dependent variable. So if you are taking x1 into pi1, you have to write the pi1 to the left side. Because the pi1 term contains the dependent variable, that has to be in the left side, the other term has to be in the right hand side. Okay. So if you have taken x1 in the pi2 term, then you have to write pi2 in terms of other pi term. Okay. So the deciding parameter is the dependent variable where it is present. So you can write the x1 in the second term or x5 in the first also. There is no harm. Okay, you can write you can put x5 in the first, the second you can put x1. There is no harm, but there is nothing wrong in doing it. But when you write the equation, then you have to write in terms of independent variables and dependent variables separate. Next. So what is the procedure in selecting these three repeating variables? Okay, I said x2, x3, x4. How to select this? Okay. So first thing is you have to select one parameters, okay, from geometrical quantity and the flow quantity and the fluid quantity, or fluid property, flow property, or geometrical property. Okay. So you have to take one parameter from geometrical property, one is from flow property, and another from fluid property. Okay. What are these geometrical properties? So if you say length, width, height, okay, breadth, okay. So these are the linear dimensions, all are considered geometrical property. Okay. So any diameter also I can include. Okay. So these are the called as geometrical properties. You can select one from them. Okay. Another one from flow. Flow means wherever there is a particle is on the moving. Okay, whether take a velocity, discharge, angular velocity, or acceleration. Okay, any one parameter from this. Okay, but that particular component should have a time component. Okay, so the particular quantity has to be has contain a variable called time. If this time is there, mass will be moving. With respect to time, means normally you will have a flow. Okay, this is about flow property. And fluid property is about density or viscosity, kinetic viscosity, or dynamic viscosity, anything. Okay, this is about fluid property. Okay, so each one we have to select one parameter from each of these three: geometrical, flow, and the fluid. This is one guideline. There are other guidelines. So never pick the dependent variable. Never pick the dependent variable. Cannot be taken as a repeating variable. Okay. Never pick the dependent variable. X1 cannot be taken as a dependent variable, repeating variable. Okay, that is one. And second is if you select 3. Okay, if you after selecting 3, this 3 should not form a dimensionless group. That means you have a L square, L minus 2, or T minus 1, or L minus 1. So if you all 3 parameters should not cancel itself. Okay, so the parameters, if you put all the 3 parameters dimensions, okay, they should not cancel themselves, or the group should not be a dimensionless group. Okay, that's what. Or sometimes some parameter which is already dimensionless. Okay, so like theta, angle. Okay, so you cannot take angle as a dimension, or any constants. Okay, efficiency you cannot take as a one parameter. Okay, so you cannot take efficiency, or some non-dimensional quantities. So that you cannot take as one of the repeating variables. So never pick 2 parameters with the same dimensions. Okay, never pick a parameter with the same dimension, or sometimes only vary by the exponent. Okay, so sometimes L t power minus 1 or L t power minus 2 like that. You don't pick parameters of similar or by only varying by the powers. And pick common parameters and simple parameters. Okay. So the common parameters means the parameters which normally we use in most of the problems. Okay. If you see something very new, don't pick that particular parameter. And the simple parameters means which has a very small dimension. Okay. So if you have a viscosity, okay. So viscosity, what is the unit? Newton seconds per meter square. Dimension is m l minus 1 t minus 1. Density is m l minus 3. So you have a density have only 2 dimensions, but in viscosity you have 3 dimensions. So which is simple? Density is simple. So you always go for simple parameters. Similarly, I am giving one example, so you can select that similarly. Even geometrical properties also, flow properties also, you can select the simple parameters. Okay, and commonly the commonly used parameters. Okay, so this is the steps in which spiking a Python has to be solved. Okay, first is find what is the total number of variables n. Find what are the number of primary dimensions. Okay, that is in the third. So first find what is the number of parameters n, and from the n number of parameters, how many primary dimensions are involved. Okay, that is for m. Once you know what is n and m, you can find what is the number of items has to be generated. Okay, that is n minus m. Okay. So if n minus m is 3 parameter 3 equation has to be written. M is 4 means 4 equation has to be written. So once you found the k value, then you write the equations consisting of repeating 3 repeating variables. Okay. Next. So this is one problem. This is sphere is moving in a fully submerged condition. Okay, the sphere is moving in a fully submerged condition. So the drag force on the sphere is F. Okay, the diameter of the sphere is d, and the velocity in which the sphere is moves is d, and density of the particular fluid medium. Okay, that is rho, and the viscosity of the medium is v. We have 5 parameters. So we have n is 5, and if you write fundamental dimension for all the parameters, okay. So F will have a MLT, okay, and diameter will have only L. Velocity will have a L and T, and density will have a mass into length. Okay, mass will have mass into L power minus 3, ML power minus 3, and the viscosity is m L minus 1 T minus 1. Okay. So from this all these parameters, if you write the dimension, you will have a m L T. Okay, there is no other dimension involved in this particular 5 parameters. So that means m is how much? What is the m value? 3 only. Okay, we have only m and t only. There is no other parameter. Okay. So m is 3 here, and number of parameters is 5. So n minus m is 2 pi terms you have to write. So for writing the pi terms, you have to select the repeating variables. Okay, so we have 5 parameters f, d, v, rho, and v. Okay, how to select 3 parameters? One is from geometrical, another one is from flow, another one is from fluid. So what is the geometrical parameter you can select? There is only one geometrical parameter. What is the geometrical parameter then? D is the geometrical parameter D, and the flow property is velocity, and the fluid property. So either you have to take rho or mu. F cannot be taken because F is the different variable here, so F cannot be taken as. Okay. So we take a rho or mu. Okay. So simple one, you can take a density. Okay. So there is nothing wrong in selecting mu also. Okay. There is nothing wrong in selecting mu also, because there is no defined answer for any of the solutions. Okay. All the solutions are correct. Okay. If you are doing it correctly, so the solutions, all the solutions are correct. Whether you take rho, whether you take mu, the solutions are always correct. Okay. But if you take mu, you will get different answer. If you take a rho, you will get a different answer. Okay. So nothing wrong in selecting that or this. But as per the guidance, if you have to select only rho. Okay, so you will get if you select rho, you will will get 16 marks, otherwise you will get only 14 marks at all. Because we didn't follow the guidelines. Okay? So the faculty can decrease 1 or 2 marks based on the parameters you are selecting. So now we have selected the diameter, velocity and rho. Okay? So there are 3 parameters, that is d, v, rho, and we are writing the other parameter, that is f I am writing the first, and second equation I am writing mu as the second equation, the fourth parameter. So write the pi 1 equal to d power a, and p power b, and the c rho power c, and the f. And similarly for pi 2 we are writing like this. So next, right? So we are going to find what is the value of a, b, c, d, and the f. Okay, so this 6 parameters, 6 values you have to found. So first equation, write the dimensions. Okay, and similarly second also write the dimensions. Okay, and how to solve it? So on the left side you have a m power 0, l power 0, t power 0, because pi doesn't have a dimension as a unit, so we have all are 0. Equal to, I am writing in terms of l powers, t powers and the m powers. And similarly for the second equation also. Now we equal to the m powers, t powers and l powers in the first, similarly in the second. So you will get as the first equation equal to a plus b minus 3c plus 1 equal to 0. That is one equation. Minus b minus 2 equal to 0, one equation. C plus 1 equal to 0, another equation. Similarly another equation if you see, e plus f minus 3g plus 1 is the one equation equal to 0. Minus f minus 1 equal to 0, g plus 1 is another. So these the 3 equations have 3 unknowns for each category. Solve the values. Then substitute in the equation and write the left hand side item should be the different variable f. So that is f equal to f by rho d square equal to f function of so much. So always you have to write the right hand side in terms of function. Why we are writing in terms of function is we don't know what is the constant. Unless you do a experiment, it is very difficult to find the constant. So because finding the constant is not our objective, so that's why we are writing in terms of functions. Okay, either you put f or I or something. Okay, some function of you have to write. Next. So this is another problem. So here R is a resisting force, and we have a L, V, rho, length L, velocity V, and mu is the viscosity, density, and K is the bulk mass. Okay. These are the parameters. How many number of parameters are there? So 2, 4, 5 and 6 parameters totally. When you try the dimensions, you have only 3 fundamental dimensions. So you have a n minus m means you have a 3 equations you have to write. Okay. So I am going to write the equation that is pi 1, pi 2 and pi 3. So now we have to select the repeating variable. Okay. So I told one is from geometrical, one is from flow and one is from fluid. So from the R cannot be taken as a repeating variable because that is different variable. You have to take from the 5 parameters. Okay. So length you can take for geometrical, for velocity you can take for flow property, and density for fluid property. Okay. So we have a L, V, rho as a repeating variable, and what are the other remaining parameters? You write it as the fourth one. Okay. So don't write fourth parameter also some powers. Okay. Sometimes you will be tending to write A, B, C, D. Okay, don't write any D on the fourth parameters because most of you doing this particular mistake in your exams. Okay, you will be writing that A, B, C and you don't know whether you put D or not. Okay, you will be putting D. Then while solving, you will get 4 unknowns. Only have 3 equations that is difficult to solve. Okay, so you cannot solve. You have 4 unknowns, 3 equations are difficult to solve. So similarly, in the second and third also. Okay, next slide. So while you writing the dimensions, okay. So first we have a m power, l power, t power 0, all are 0, and equal to you have to write all the dimensions and equal to powers, and you will get pi 1, pi 2, and pi 3 similarly. Okay. So I didn't solve everything. I can solve your own. So the finally the result has to be written in the like cross line. Okay, so R is a different variable, so you put R on the left side. You write all the parameters on the right hand side. So you put L square B square rho into function of what are the other 5 terms. We have another one, you put comma and another 5 terms. We have 4 means you can write 3 items in the function, 1 on the left. Okay. So any doubt as of now? No doubt. Next question are correct பண்ணீங்களா? இதுவரை நான் புரிஞ்சதே இல்லையா? இப்போ ப்ராப்ளம் தான் போடுறீங்களா? Time of the problem கொடுத்துருக்கு. So I have to start another part. So the next. So இது வந்து ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இதுவரையும் உங்களுக்கு வந்து டைமென்ஷன் அனாலிசிஸ் இஸ் ஓவர். ஓகே? So இது உலக டைமென்ஷன் அனாலிசிஸ். So டைமென்ஷன் அனாலிசிஸ் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஈஸியா நீங்க ஒரு क्वेश्चन ஒரு 16 மார்க்ஸ் வாங்கலாம். இந்த படிக்கிற யூனிட்ல because one question will be in dimension analysis. அதுல 16 மார்க் வந்துரும். இன்னொரு क्वेश्चन மாடல் அனாலிசிஸ்ல கேட்பாங்க. அதுல 16 மார்க் வரும். So நீங்க டைமென்ஷன் அனாலிசிஸ் மட்டும் கான்செப்ட் பண்ணாலே ஈஸியா 16 மார்க்ஸ் ஸ்கோர் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே? So the dimension analysis ஒரு 4-5 ப்ராப்ளம் நீங்க ஓனா சால்வ் பண்ணி பாத்தீங்கன்னா போதும் உங்களுக்கு ஈஸியா நீங்க ஸ்கோர் பண்ணலாம். ஓகே? So dimension analysis முடிச்சிட்டோம். அடுத்து மாடல் அனாலிசிஸ் போகலாம். So model analysis it's a like continuation of dimension analysis. Model analysis என்றது it is a continuation of dimension analysis only, but it is little more different compared to dimension analysis. எங்க எப்படின்னு பாத்தீங்கன்னா dimensions mostly we do in research, mostly in research purpose. Or when you want to conduct an experiment, you will be studying the link between the parameters or so and so. Okay, that is about mostly in research purpose. But model studies are real. எங்கெங்க உங்களுக்கு ஒரு அப்ளிகேஷன்ஸ் இருக்கோ அங்கெல்லாம் நீங்க யூஸ் பண்ணலாம். இது சிம்பிளா பாத்தீங்கன்னா we have your college. Okay, you have a college buildings. Okay, our college infrastructure எல்லாமே இருக்கு. You want to make a model out of the entire college. Okay, so I want to make it in a table. Okay, so I will be measuring the building sizes, height, width, everything I will be measuring it, and I will be making a model like scale or 1 in 100 scale and 1 in 1000 scale பண்ணனும். Okay, I convert ஒரு 100 மீட்டர் இருக்குனா இங்க நான் 1 மீட்டர் வைக்கலாம். Okay, இல்ல ஒரு 100 மீட்டர் இருக்குனா இங்க நான் 1 சென்டிமீட்டர் வைக்கலாம். So we downscale the actual prototype, அதாவது actual building actual வந்து மாடலை கன்வர்ட் பண்ணுவீங்க. From the prototype is nothing but of the actual building or actual structure is the prototype. அதுல ஒரு மாடல் பண்றீங்கன்னா with some scale down scaling பண்ணா you make a model. Okay, so the small பண்றீங்க தெரியுமா, small size, this is called model, and the larger one probably called as a prototype. This is in general. In general பாத்தீங்கன்னா prototype பெருசா இருக்கும், மாடல் சின்னதா இருக்கும் in general, but it's not always. எல்லா கேஸ்லயும் இப்படி தான் இருக்கணும்னு அவசியம் இல்லை. In some cases where you will be having a prototype which is very smaller, but you will be making a very big model. Okay, where you have a very small parts. Okay, like if you take a watch, okay, the parts are very small, very tiny. So it's a normal eye, you cannot see what is the working of particular watch. So there you will be making a bigger model where the measurements, everything can be easy. Okay, so and also the understanding of the working is easy. If you make a larger model and you will understand, then while manufacturing you downscale the parameters, modifications, then you manufacturing the quantity. This is how this also is done. Okay, but in general mostly models are in smaller nature, prototypes are in larger nature as far as civil and mechanical is concerned. Okay, mostly in civil engineering and mechanical engineering, so we say that the prototype is larger in size and model is smaller in size. So the advantages of linking dimension analysis with model analysis. Okay, so one is you can find the link or the relation between the two parameters, or you can find the some of the optimum design or optimum model procedures. Okay, using this particular dimension analysis. Then when you go for models, then it is easy. It will be dimension will be helpful to you to reduce the cost or reduce the time, okay, reduce the space, okay, Okay, everything can be done. Okay, using this. So then the next is a similitude. Similitude is nothing but similar. Okay, so it's same model and prototype. How these two are related? Okay, how the prototype and the models are related. That is what called similarity or similitude. Okay. How similar it is. Okay, with respect to some, you are downscaling it, but even though downscaling, both the parameters are equal. Okay, this is in the model, and that is in the prototype. But the velocity in the prototype, velocity in the model, so both are velocity only, but the magnet wise there will be little variation. Okay, so but how they are varying? How to convert it? Whether I convert like length 10 meters to 1 in 10 scale or 1 meter in the model. Similarly, 10 meters per second equal to 1 meter per second or 10 Newton to 1 Newton. You cannot convert all the parameters linearly. You cannot convert all the parameters linearly. Only the geometrical dimension can be converted into linearly. Okay, if you say length is 10 meters, you can convert into 1 meter. Okay, so this is easy conversion. But velocity is 10 meters per second is not 1 meter per second in the model. Similarly, when you say force, 10 Newton is not equal to 1 Newton. So the conversion is not for all, easy for all the parameters. Only geometrically it is easy, but the other parameters you have to convert dimensionally. Okay. So that is normally we do in model analysis also. Okay. So there are three similarities we compare. One is geometrical similarity. So where you have a length, breadth, height, length, height, diameter, everything comes under. And we have a kinematic similarity where they have a movement of particles, a movement of fluids. Okay. So we have a kinematic like viscosity, velocity, acceleration, okay, angular velocity. These are the things comes under kinematic. The dynamic will have a force and movement. Okay. So dynamics comes with respect to forces. Okay. Next. So these are the three things. Okay. First is geometrical similarity, kinematic similarity, and dynamic similarity. Okay. These are three things. So any parameter you can put it in these three categories. Any parameter you can put in these three categories. Right? So these are the forces in fluid mechanics. We have there are 6 forces. First is inertial force. Any mass want to move means it needs some acceleration. Okay. So unless mass is moving, as a fluid mechanics, so you cannot apply fluid mechanics principle unless the particle moves. Okay. So in some if there any force and which causes a motion, then the forces comes in. Okay. Of course, the fluid statics is different. Okay. And there are 6 forces. One is inertial force, okay, which has a mass and acceleration. Then I have viscous force. So the viscous force, mostly the viscosity or the frictions comes into effect. Okay. And the gravity force is like open channel flow. So wherever the water goes from a higher elevation to lower elevation. Okay. So any flow open the atmosphere moves or under atmospheric pressure moves from higher elevation to lower elevation. Okay. But in the viscous force and the pressure force, the movement can be from top to down to up also. Okay. Or sometimes horizontal, sometimes vertical. Okay. From top to bottom or top to bottom to top. Anywhere the flow can happen because these are called pressure flows. Okay. Pressure flows can be in any direction. It need not be always in the higher elevation to lower elevation. So the gravity force means it is about the elevation because we are using the gravity as the energy. Okay. But in the pressure force, we are using giving as pressure force to move the particles from one place to another place. Okay. That can be from any direction to any direction. And the surface tension force and the elastic force. Okay. These are the 6 forces. So we are going to use the 6 forces to derive a 5-dimensionless number. So what is this dimensionless number? Okay. So we are going to take a ratio between the 2 forces. That means the resultant quantity doesn't have a unit, doesn't have a dimension. Okay, that's why we call it as a dimensionless parameter, or sometimes called a non-dimensional number. Dimensionless number or non-dimensional number. These are the 2 notation normally used. Next. So as per the forces, mass, viscosity, gravitational force, pressure, surface, and elastic, the governing parameters. Okay. So when I say mass, density is the governing parameter. Next. Okay, series of hydraulic power plants. So every 20 kilometers பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு பேரேஜ் ஒரு ஹைட்ராலிக் பவர் பிளான்ட்ஸ். ஸோ அது எப்படின்னாக்கா every 9 meters ஹெட் எங்கே எது வரைக்கும் உங்களுக்கு 9 meters ஹெட் ஜென்ரேட் ஆச்சுன்னா அங்கே ஒரு ஹைட்ராலிக் பவர் பிளான்ட் போடுவோம். ஸோ 9 meters இருந்துச்சுன்னா உங்களுக்கு 230 மெகாவாட்ஸ் வந்து பவர் ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணலாம். 2 டர்பைன் வச்சுட்டு 15 பண்ணலாம், சம் கேசஸ் இல்லைனா 30 230 or 250 மெகாவாட்ஸ் பவர் ஜென்ரேட் பண்ணுறது. ஸோ அப்படி பண்ணும்போது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் பண்ணலாமா வேணாமா, இந்த இடத்துல பர்டிகுலர் பிளேஸில் கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் பண்ணலாமா வேணாமா. ஸோ ஹவு டு கன்ஸ்ட்ரக்ட் இட், அது என்னென்ன மாதிரி நீங்கள் ரிவர் ட்ரைனிங்ஸ் ஒர்க்ஸ்லாம் பண்ணணுன்ற மாதிரி. ஸோ இது வந்து நம்ம ஆக்சுவலாக அந்த ரிவர் எவ்வளோ தண்ணி போகுதுன்றது நமக்கு தெரியும், ஒரு அமௌண்ட் தெரியும். ஓகே, ரிவர் எவ்வளோ தண்ணி வருதுன்றது. இப்போ நான் அந்த மாடலுக்கு அந்த தண்ணி கொடுக்கணும், எவ்வளோ தண்ணின்றது அதில் சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. ரிவர் எவ்வளோ டிஸ்சார்ஜ் வந்துச்சுன்னா யூ கேன் ஆப்ரேட் த டேம்ன்ற மாதிரி. ஸோ அந்த டிஸ்சார்ஜை நான் ஹேவ் டு அச்சீவ் இட் இந்த லேப்ல. அதுக்கு நான் அந்த வீனாச் யூஸ் பண்ணேன். ஓகே, ஸோ இந்த வீனாச் யூஸ் பண்ணி அது எவ்வளோ டிஸ்சார்ஜ் அவங்க சொல்கிறாங்களோ அந்த டிஸ்சார்ஜை ஸ்கேல் டவுன் பண்ணி அந்த டிஸ்சார்ஜ் அப்போ வந்து அவங்க 2600 சொல்கிறாங்கனாக்கா ஐ வில் பி கன்வெர்ட்டிங் இன்டு 26 மீட்டர் per second or 0.26 மீட்டர் per second ஸ்கேல் டவுன் பண்ணிட்டு then I will allow the discharge through வீனாச். ஸோ வீனாச்சை மெஷர் பண்ணுறது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா உங்களுக்கு ஸோ இது பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இதான் ஒரு ரெக்டாங்குலர் இது சேனல். இந்த இடத்துல வீனாச் வச்சிருக்கோம். இது வந்து ஸ்க்ரூ கேஜ். ஸோ எவ்வளோ அந்த 0 பாயிண்ட் மேலே எவ்வளோ டெப்த்தில் தண்ணி இருக்கணுன்றதை மெஷர் பண்ணிக்கணும்னா உங்களுக்கு ஐ கேன் அச்சீவ் த டிஸ்சார்ஜஸ். ஸோ அந்த ஹைட் மட்டும் நான் ஃபஸ்ட்டு மெஷர் பண்ணுவோம். ஸோ மெஷர் பண்ணிவிட்டு ஐ வில் அலோவ் த டிஸ்சார்ஜ். ஸோ இதுதான் அந்த மாடல். இந்த ஸ்டார்ட் இந்த வீனாச் இங்கே ஃபர்ஸ்ட் கேர் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா வீனாச் தெரியும். ஸோ இந்த ரிவர் வந்து இப்படிதான் இந்த ரிவர் போகும். இந்த ரிவர் அந்த பவானி அந்த ரிவர் அந்த